Welcome, welcome. Today we're gonna work on the horde mode, and I'm just polishing some things for the trailer. So I have this dragon that I'm still finishing, uh, working out on. See, so because we need to make sure these points. Go, and if we have the gizmos, I'm just trying to make sure that the spacing, because see how the bones are different here than there. So I'm trying to work on a script that will change the distance. So after this, the distance should change by a little bit. The delay should be 0.1 maybe. Um, distance. I'm just trying to figure this out. Um, hopefully, did we say twice as much? We'll see how that would look. We're gonna test out. Just Unity editor having problems because the distance is so little, but we're gonna get started. It's actually turning out really good. And then the other thing that I want to go over, and then we're gonna test something out in multi. Okay, here we have this UI to. So let me. I don't know why the placement changed, but we're gonna move these things around. These. They kind of like create like writing on the, but they're not. We're not going to use decals because decals are more expensive. So we're just using this material. This one here. Eventually, we'll probably place something else like these. Change where they're placed, but for now, I'm just placing them somewhere for players to explore, think about, look at. We might just here. Bigger, eating, and then so that books, fire spell here. Okay, let me see. There, of the water spell. Oh, the water spells. Oh, I think I had a rock, another rock here. I don't know why it disappeared. I probably accidentally deleted it. There was a rock formation here, but anyway, just put it here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test the earth spell to make sure everything's working. Then right now you can pick all of them. Eventually you'll choose one, so I'll put them all kind of in the same place. You can just pick what you and actually be able to see because this is not really good. But we are going to, and then we have this for people to know that they can use the camera and the equipment station with this symbol. And that's how I'm going to try it out. Okay, so then we have, so we're going to go back to the loading, side quest loading, and we're going to test the dragon. I'm going to show you what I've been working on. See if this will work. And then I'll have to test the multiplayer setup, and I'll show you the horde mode, and we'll test the multiplayer aspect. Okay, so we're here. Hit play. I have to test performance a lot because we have post processing, and I put a max of 10 players, but that probably is not going to happen, especially with this. So the idea, let me see. This is the dragon. Okay, very jittery. There's a way to smooth it out. Figure out a way to long. Let me see if I can change it at runtime. That way I can control and see. It jitters too much. Update. Um, so here, let's say 0.08. Smoothing factor, let's rotation, use distance constant. We did, oh, that's the max distance. So that way, these, we have debug tools. We don't need more. Distance 2 is fine. Okay. That try that. Let me do it regardless. If it works. Version. Okay. Oh man, it's more jittery. Okay, so bigger delay maybe. Oh, see what happened. No, because oh, this is the GUI thing. Let me see. Elvis. Okay, let me see this move anything. Okay, it does. This move it. Okay. This one right here. This one. This one should be like a 0.03. This one is Let's try 0.2 delay. Let's just go crazy. Test it out. Point. Delay. Did that. Actually, my jitter. So let me see. Yeah, so that's like way bad. Okay, so that is a super big delay that we don't want. Let's see what do we want. There. This is doing all these. Okay. Well, figure out the delay for this. Not 0.5. 0.1 was kind of jittery. It's jittery because it kept updating the next one. It did have 505. Back. See this now. Clear this. Just so very little. Oh man, still jittery. It's still a little squished. So, and then I gotta test it on the other, on the network version. It's just the spacing on these. I didn't smooth it out. Try that. Okay. Good until that last, because it's all. Oh, the other thing I can do, we're gonna try, and hopefully it doesn't break anything. Is, let me see if I can. Okay, hold on. We're gonna stop. Okay, we trying to think. The main reason this is happening is because there is a parenting. So I can all these. Let me see. I will do third one just so I don't break it. This. Yes. Being stuff out. Super tedious, but test it out. Everything's already connected. Where they're at. We're just gonna follow the box it. And I'll have to make a build. Probably get some snacks. I already made a bunch of builds, so it should be good. It'll take two. This base, everything follows each other. So we still have everything. All these still control the specific one. But now they don't control the previous one, and that's what made some of the jittery. The other thing I'm gonna do is probably in here. Let me do. It does it on update, so I could do like fixed. But I'm not a fan of this because it. So I just changed two things, and I don't know which one will solve the problem. So let's go back and we'll do that after to see the difference. So because I really want to know exactly what um, fixes the problem, because it's just knowledge, right? I'm taking the time to debug it, and okay. So now I gotta go to the spell. Respond third bullet. This okay. Change the setting so I don't connect to the other one because I just pushed an update. Okay, let's it on. Connected. Do this. Oh crap! I have to change the batteries for my controller. Okay, moment of truth. Oh yeah, I should have changed the code first. But oh, okay. So now it needs to. Gosh. Let's see. Okay, so I gotta fix some stuff. Let me see. So that obviously didn't work. The delay. Oh, still connected. And keeps charging. Okay. The updates the install position, follow position, following, but it's not doing the snake. So this fix update. Go back to the second one. Earth spell. Spells. Targets. Okay, so two still has the connection. It might still look wonky. Scale was a little bit. Just keep moving this a little bit. This one. Oh, we need that much. But with a fixed update, we will be getting more information. It is gonna use more resources. Let's see. The other thing we can do is just not do. The other thing is we can make sure that the bones are all equal in distance. So that way it doesn't cause problems. Sure. I can just figure out the timing and all of them. Because the problem is that if there's a difference, the update is not good. Okay, that's a little better. Seems like it's doing it, jittering. I'm okay with that. Okay. So it's just I'm trying to think of where is jittering, right? I think it's way better now. So we're gonna build. Let me see. And this should work on both multiplayer. So yeah, I think and then people love the dragon, and we are. I should have the textures finalized for next week, and then sometime like Tuesday, and I'll have a nice texture for it, and it's gonna look cool. And then I'll work on the audio during the week or something to finish it up. Um. Okay, so um. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you. Okay, so we're gonna build. This doesn't take much. I'll rebuild the data table, and my goal is to just get a build, um, and then push it. Test the multiplayer aspect. I need to test the multiplayer aspect for the dragon, so we can shoot a nice trailer of people like doing different effects and stuff. Almost everything is set, and then when I test this, I'm gonna go into the horde mode so I can show you guys how it's going, and I'll try to manipulate both the computer and my headset, so you can understand what's going on. I'll probably try to level up. Oh wait, hold on, I got something. Bells. What's it called? Inventory. So something I have to do every time for right now, because I'm not saving anything, is here, like this spells that we own. I want to leave it at 0, so that when we make a build, it doesn't save. But usually this is taken care of when I what's the word for it? Yeah, so usually when I have a back end, I'll set the default of everything, and so that way it doesn't matter what's in that scriptable object. But right now, because I'm not saving stuff, it will bring it over, and it'll store it here. So these scriptable objects have the information that I've been playing with right now. Yeah. Bum, bum, bum. And it shouldn't take long. We're gonna put this up, and while we're putting up, I'm gonna show you guys the horde mode, how it's set up, how it works, and we'll play test it. And then after that, my goal is to put that horde mode in the other tunnels. And also like as a final trial type thing for now, because that's what I'm gonna put on side quest. It's just, hey, this is a demo, work in progress. See how far you can get in levels with the 3 spells. There's no healing. The only healing that happens is when you level up. And so if you can time the level ups correctly, then you'll be good. And as you level up, you get stronger. So your spells do more damage. So you should be able to go up. So I don't know how. And I have 30 levels. And the max player count is 10, which is kind of crazy, and it might destroy a headset. So I don't know. I might just do 8 players max later, because I can't. 10 is too much. And that 8 is pushing it, especially with all the effects. Like if everyone's like just throwing out dragons, it's gonna break the game. And so yeah, I'm kind of scared to do that, but uh, I'm willing to test it out. if it breaks. And I also mana as a resource you have to use. With 10 players though, the first few waves should be easy. But as each wave will add one more enemy, you have 30 waves, so the last wave will have 30 enemies, I think. And then or 29. Haven't thought much for them. And it will go up a level. And I think I increment the level by one. So there's like the min level is 1 and the max level is 3. They'll go 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, and the min and max will go up and it will randomize between those levels. And so as you go up, it'll increase. And it's gonna get harder and harder. So then you'll have up to level 34 or so. 33. So like the min is 30, the max is 33 or 34. And you'll have 30 of those or 29. That's gonna be crazy. And so yeah, it's gonna get hectic. But if you have 10 players, it could be fun. And yeah, so 10 players, 30 monsters. That is too crazy. So I might have to tone it down. Maybe even with the monsters, I just won't have effects on it. Ugh, with the post processing, oh my gosh, it's just too much. So I'm gonna dial down. The first thing I'm gonna dial down is the worlds, but all that's geometry static. But even then, it's like rendering triangles and stuff. We'll do LODs, the VFX. Yeah, the monsters and the monster VFX maybe should be less. Or no, maybe the monster should be better, and then the characters figure out how to balance it. How it goes. So build. Okay, so let me show you where we're at. We yeah, it's gonna get crazy. I'm kind of excited to just put it out there. I'll just have to do a disclaimer to say, hey, like I have not tested 10 players, but I wanted to go big first, and yeah, 30 monsters is insane. Let's see. So 0-1. So this is where the horde mode is, and the way I have it set up, this prefab, and when the master client, so when the host of the room comes in, it'll spawn one monster between level 1 and 3, and then it'll increment every 3 seconds. So there's a 3-second delay between windows, and then we'll increment by 1, and all these. So I could increment the wave, the amount of people per wave, or the level to 2, so it ups the level, which I might do that. So it gets harder, so people don't reach 30 monsters really fast. And yeah, and when you reach the last wave, you're done. So that's that. Let me see, 1 and 4. Let's do that to make apply the. Yeah. So that is just, and I'll show you the code for those that actually are watching this. Give you something. This is a multiplayer, right? So the way it's set up, these are all private fields. It's okay because only the master client will be spawning. Then we have, I'll show you what we have. I don't even know if the host leaves. That's the other thing we need to figure out, if the host leaves. Okay, so this is how we're going to state authority. So we're going to go through it and kind of think of the logic. Could have implemented it somewhere. Here. State authority. We'll see what we do. Okay. So what happens is we start on spawn. If you don't have state authority, do nothing. Okay. You have the current min level and the current max level, and the highest levels and total wave spawn. These are networked. We have current enemies, current min, max. All these things are networked. So this is good because we want these to, if the host changes, these are going to change. Okay, so we have low level because we need to think, okay, if the master client leaves the host and someone else chain comes in, what information do they need to spawn to continue the wave, right? Um, and so let's say they leave. There's a wave ongoing. Okay. Let's see. So we need this to actually be networked because we need to know how many monsters are still up. The only problem is they're not going to tell us that they died. They're still hooked to this, so yeah, so we'll have to test it, okay? But the idea is that we'll get it setter. Okay. So active enemies. Active enemies, we initialize it. Sure, you're like 100% sure that this number is what you think it is, right? You don't want to always leave it up to chance. Okay, so we spawn, the master client will set this up. Trigger enter, doesn't have state authority, don't do anything. If it's just a player, return whatever. If it's not a player that's triggering it, like let's say you shoot a fire and it triggers that. If it did not start, then we're gonna start. Okay, and this can be local. Okay, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this logic when we change. Okay, so when we change on state authority, we're gonna do this. If it hasn't started, we're gonna start again, and we're gonna start the next wave. Okay, so even if the host leaves, it's just gonna start the next wave. That's what we'll do. Because we don't want to wait. So maybe, yeah, this uh, active enemies might be off. Yeah, that might not be good. Okay, so what we'll do is if the master host leaves, we can check. Or didn't, if, let's start, if active enemy, what is the active enemies? These are active enemies, start next wave. Okay, not a enemy death, it'll start the next wave. Okay, so we don't need anything. Okay, so this one, if the player leaves, we need to check the enemies. Let me see. The worst thing that can happen is that the master client leaves right as it's spawning the wave, which would be bad. It's okay. The enemies, let's just say if that happens, whatever. Like it's a very small edge case, and it will probably happen most often than not. So you want to figure some stuff out for that case. But I think this is pretty good because even if it spawns 5 and it stops, we're gonna check how many active enemies we have, right? Our next wave. So in here, so what happens is notify enemy death. Okay, and this new master client will have this active enemies, and it will go down. As long as these active enemies is a network object, this will transfer with the host. Notify enemy death. So what we're gonna do is if active enemy is less than 0, we'll start the next wave. Okay, so this is when we switch. Let's say we just killed the player, or we just killed the next wave, and it'll say it's spawning. This is private, so it's okay. So we'll start the spawn, start next wave, right? And we'll do this. If it's not the max amount, max wave per set, total waves spawned. This we want to be, okay, it's networked, so it's good. So these are good. Because as long as these are good, that's all we need. Okay, start next wave. So let's say the player leaves. The only time we will use this logic is if there's 0 enemies and we are about to, like between those 3 seconds, the master client leaves. this is not going to execute. It's going to go boop, done. Yeah, it won't because it's on the player, or it might start, and then if it starts halfway through, it might change some of these, right? Because it's going to go through all of these for enemies per wave. It's going to start spawning enemies. It's going to say active enemies, but it won't change this. Done. So let's say someone leaves while it's spawning. It'll just spawn whatever, but at least it's keeping track of that. And so we can continue doing whatever we need to. And see, this adds a listener to the enemy spawn. So when the enemy spawns, it'll notify it. My only concern is that this is a networked object. It's that this listener is not networked, so it's only going to happen on my. Yeah, because this is not going to happen on all. So if the master client leaves, so if we're in the middle of the horde, and it's, oh crap, I don't want to change some of this logic. Dang it. That's okay. I'll have to build again. Not. I just changed this. All these. Just test out though. Okay. We'll leave it how it was, so we don't have any problems. I'm gonna put in a notepad so we can bring it back later. We'll keep talking about it because I want to play it and show you. Make sure, because I'm gonna tell. Okay, so yeah, so if the master client leaves midway through, oh yeah, I did change. Depending on who's the master client. Let's start it. I'll get my headset going. Okay, if the main thing that I'm worried about is if the master client leaves, it's not gonna trigger the next wave. So we need a condition to just start the next wave. Yeah, so when the master client leaves, I'm probably gonna just I'm just gonna start the next wave. And because some of those guys are not gonna work. So if people keep leaving, it's gonna make it worse. The other thing that I need to make sure, other stuff that I need to make sure, settings. I need to make sure I put down settings for horde mode. Because I don't think I checked box this master. It's updating. Update soon. I just need, the first thing I need to test is the dragon. Like, is the dragon network working? I'm kind of scared. If this doesn't work, I'll just go back to the other one. Some kind of fix. Yes, it's jittery, but it works. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. The other thing I need to check is, well, let's just go to the horde mode. I'm gonna grab the spells. The fire. Oh, I should probably try to level up. Okay. Yeah. So I think if we go to horde mode. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Just gotta move. Bye. Okay. Hopefully I should see him on the other. Clear this. It's good so far. I'll probably just solo it. Okay, we probably see it from top. Are a little big. Double. If I can do. You know, it works if no one disconnects. But that's one of the things of multiplayer games. You have to. Bit of red line. Oh crap! Hi. That's sent. Check. Go back now and see. Nothing. Let's see. Still there. Start again. Back. One for me. This is not opened. An individual puzzle. It's working. I'm probably gonna die. Oh, there. Perfect. This is perfect. That's OP. I know how to. Oh, the other thing is that. Oh, this might up. It's kind of hard. Okay, I think it's working. Um, let me check some of the stuff. Okay, so I think this is really good. The dragon spell works. I think before I release on side quest, I'm definitely gonna do an improvement on the dragon. I think like just making it a more viable solution, so that when it hits every time it goes through a part of the dragon, it will deal damage. And so I can put like probably, I'll have to see how many, at least 5 or 10. So then it hits like, and it hits like a truck. It goes, so it should be really good. And then I'll have the sound effects for the dragon, like the roar as it goes through. Yeah, I think it'll be good. That should take care of that, because I think the water spell, as long as you can like have a group of people, it's doable. I just trying to think of, is this viable for the group? Is it viable for like if you're alone with this one spell, would you do it? And that depends. And so that's why I'm gonna do different things for it. Let's see, what else do we have? So let's go back to the horde mode. Okay. And I do probably want to record some of this, because I think it's really important. So here, let's see what our settings were. It's master client. Okay, so it does change. Seem to have work. Yeah. So even though I did not add the changes, it was working just fine. And I left, came back. I wonder if the listener still works regardless. Start wave. So let's just leave it as is. Spawn. I think for the most part it was working. So I'm gonna let who shall see. Okay, let's do, okay, so let's change now. This is for the fire spell. I think having them separate places is fine. Let's see. The main issues that I have with these monsters or the enemy right now, these are just to test, like test dummies. They fire at you regardless how far you are. So that's one thing that eventually I want to change. It's like distance. If the closest target is not within a distance, it won't. Don't shoot. Then the other thing is shooting through the object. The nice thing is that it's like you can know that they're there. The other thing is sound effects for the enemies. I need sound effects for the eyeball and for when it's shooting, let you know it's shooting. So if it doesn't shoot through objects, you can at least hear it either screeching or like shooting, whatever. So those are things that I want with the enemy. And it would be nice if they move closer to the target. But for now, that's fine. They just move and shoot. That's all they do. So those are the things I want to do. But for now, horde mode is working. Test it some more a little bit. The other thing, so let's add it to the next few items. I think we go to 0-2, for example. 0-2, I believe, is the water. Yeah, for the water. The idea is that you'll have similar horde mode down here. Because this is huge already, like huge. So let's They have to be smaller. This room, adjust it. I need to. This will I push the. Best ways. Here, test later if it's bigger on the other ones. I don't care. And even this is just like a test room. Waste. Oh, that. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, that thickness. Change the texture. Random, so it looks different. And then this. They're not double-sided. Uh, okay. We're gonna add the horde mode. Ooch. It without stepping on. Good. Well, this is a little bit big. We'll call it good. And the idea with this is that the water spell will This is way bigger than the other map, but there's nothing in here. So we'll use another asset. I have a poly pack, Cinti asset, that has another set of cool rooms that I'll use probably, and probably have to low res it, but we'll use it. And the idea with this one is that we'll want them to spawn low spawn points. Put together. The way, so that way you can fight them 5 points other. They'll spawn in kind of, it's still randomized, but they'll spawn on one side or the other here, so that you could use the water to fight them up. Other one, this side. Kind of close, so they're clumped up together. Guys can go here. But all these spawn points proven, and it's randomized, so I control all of them, but they'll spawn one of these 3 groups. And so even if there's like 6, the likelihood that 2 of them are together is probably very good. The other thing I could do is I could be more controlled in how I spawn these guys. So I could do an algorithm for, like, say, like sectors of spawn points. Then each wave change the sectors or randomize. So like if I want to do all the sectors, I'll randomize all the sectors, or I could just say spawn within this, boom, spawn here, spawn here. So I could change either change the script and do horde mode with sections, or within the horde mode add a boolean for sections. But this will work. That's the same idea, 1 through 4, 30 levels, increments by 2. That really makes it harder, but is satisfying. You get level up really fast. We'll see how it goes. And okay, yeah, and these guys spawn way up high, so I gotta change that. 1 point way high, way too high. Down there we go. That's scale is a bit off. We change. I'll redo the level. Uh, there. So I'll work on making a level for here. Too worried about that. Touch that in a. Oh, this is just, yeah, I haven't even just have it looping. The idea with this one is that they would line up, so I'll just scatter them, and you just kind of like connect the dots with the dragon. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a simple damage. Okay. Just deal damage. The other thing I wanted to do with the dragon is that it will block damage. So every time it gets damaged, it will do one. Because let's say the dragon has, it can damage people. Because I have a tracker of how many times a damageable can hit, and after that, it's going to destroy itself. No. Okay, so hold on. Let's see. So we're gonna work on the dragon now. Dragon. So we have the boy. So this guy is the one that's kind of working that we're using right now. But this damageable will not be networked. I can't have it be networked. Or maybe I can. Just gonna be kind of crazy. Maybe I can parent it. I'm just trying to think of what I'm trying to do. So, who does the hitting? So it'll hit everybody, but the master client will do the damage. And him, I'll make sure double check. Because when dealing with damaging, oh whoops. When dealing with damage, we need, okay, we dealt some damage. Here, everyone's gonna hit. And so if I do it locally, this RPC is gonna get called like 5 times per player. I can only deal damage on the host. Or if I'm master client. So it has to be networked. So yes, I have to have it. Doesn't get triggered multiple times. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this, go double check my phone. Let's do the script. Scripts. Well, right now it's for the dragon, but I'll just leave it out here for a little bit. Simple damage lighter. Eventually, we're gonna change it to be big lighter. It'll have multiple purpose, so it won't be simple. So we'll just make sure we change it. Okay. What will happen is eventually this will take damage and whatnot, so that way it can be like a shield as well, so you can block damage as it's moving around. So let's start with, first it's gonna have to be a network behavior. And we'll have to test it out. This is where a copilot would be good. I haven't gotten into it because most of the times when I set it up, it starts behaving weird and adding stuff I don't want. Okay. So the thing is how much damage, right? And so it'll have a public variable that will be, so to, is it damage? And what I'll do is the head has the master client, so that head will constantly apply the damage to this. So we'll set it up later, but it's not going to be networked. And then on trigger enter, we have a damage dealer, but damage. This has a damage network trigger damage, and this is like a generic, but we're not going to use that because this is a lot. And so all we need is this code. It's doing this, enter. If doesn't have data authority, return. We don't do anything. So technically this doesn't need to be networked because it's not going to do anything on the, it doesn't need to be transform because it's going to move with a local player. So we should be good with this because it's not going to trigger on anything else. Or even if it does, it doesn't matter because this check. Okay, so we have if other, trying to think at the same time as talking. I'm gonna do this. What's the team? Maybe this can do friendly damage. I don't know. We need to put the team for the team. And yeah, and team usually get friends. These all things come from. We can push these along from the head if we wanted to. Current ID. I don't need to do this. A component client enable false. No hits doesn't matter. We turn it off so that it doesn't create multiple hits. If there's a damage effect, do the damage VFX. That one's a nice thing to have. Effect. That. And well, why don't we just use the other one? It's because the other one has a lot of baggage that I don't want to deal. So like on damage dealt. Don't need that. Previous ID, don't need that. Damage. Okay. So this is where we're like, okay, what type of damage? All these things can go from damage, local player strength, type of damage. So this is damage. This is a float, so we want float to the math. Okay, so we have this, and put this on, and this should be everything, except for in here, simple damage colliders. So we'll do something like this, this, all simple damage collider. Okay, dragon body. This on spawn, we're gonna say set up damage colliders. Colliders, and we'll go for each for each. There's a simple collider SDC colliders. I usually just try to like use the acronym, like an acronym for based on what it is. Okay, so we have for every single STD, we need to set the damage. Let's see, what do we need to set? The element type. So STD element type of damage equals element type dot earth. I mean, we already know because it's a dragon, so you don't do. In here, usually they have it. But yeah, let's do this type of damage. So like we have this type of damage in here. So this right here, we have type of damage. Right? So that's inherent. So that's nice because in case I change it after, if this dragon becomes like a fire dragon, I just toggle it and this works the same. Okay. Okay, let's see the other things I need. How much damage it does. So in here, how do I know when deal damage? The network trigger damage, do that, and so, and if we wanted to say the dragon head does more damage, we can reduce that. Um, dot. So this is exactly the percentage. There's that. This can be a, I don't really care. Here we have the strength and damage percentage, and so instead we can have in here. Eventually, we would change this. Let's say we could have in here float future children damage percentage. And so in here, you have the children, right? And so it gives that, so you can adjust that. And if you wanted to make it more or less, so I'll show you how it works. Okay, so, okay, so we have finished. Oh, let me check. Switch myself over. Okay, so we have. Okay, so the Earth bullet. So let's make. Either damageable. Okay. Before I forget, okay, let's look at this. So the damage percentage is not this. It's whatever in the Earth. 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 Dragon Blast. So in here, the dragon spell. So this spell holds all the information. So the percentage is 0.7. So let's say we want to just do one of the damage. So that's pretty good. It's like 100% damage. Then and eventually we'll put it here as a parameter, and then we'll bring it to the dragon. But for now, do that here because it's already. The reason why I say in here because we want to control. I don't want to have things in multiple places. So I want to make sure that the source of truth is these spells. The spell script has the control, and it will determine things based on other factors because the player will eventually be able to level these up or do like a tech web tree. And so, in order to do that, I need one source of truth for the player. So the player owns this spell. Okay, at what level is it? On what are the parameters? So eventually, we'll have a scriptable object like we do now, but that will hold all that information. Um, so that's the idea. So, for example, eventually, this scriptable object will have the actual percentages, and when it updates, it will change and it'll be modified. And then when this data is updated, when this spell is created, it'll be created, and these parameters are public variables. It will change those as it goes. And then if we wanted to take it another step and say, okay, well, I don't want the variables to be public because someone can hack it and change them, we can do a loading script that will load them and then they'll be all private. But for now, it doesn't really matter. If people want to cheat, whatever, go cheat. It's just ruining your own experience, nothing else. Because the fun part is like, is actually uh, the fun part is playing and gaining skill and actually beating the game. Let me see. So we have what were we? Yeah, the damage. So we have the damage percentage is technically 1, and in here we have uh, children percentage. So I'll probably put it 0.7. I'll be fine. It might be a little bit OP depending on how many triggers we do, but I'll show you. I think I'm gonna try to get it done, and I'll show you how it works, and it's gonna be pretty exciting. And we can make it as OP as we want. It's just a number tweak, but that's why I like this, is because we can. And this percentage is based on your strength, and your strength increases for every level. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. Also, the fact that there's no cap right now, so you could be level 1,000,000, but obviously it's a grind. But you're rewarded for that. Um, yeah, so let's see. Okay, so we have. Wait, what happened? Bullet 2. Okay, this is the one we're doing. 0.7. We need all the dragon body colliders, right? Let's say we put 10. Okay, that's gonna be crazy. And okay, so let's do 10. Let's figure out where we're gonna put them. Okay, of this dragon. Let's just do it here first. Have a 3D object, a cube, just a simple cube. it really? Where is it? Oh, it's because it's super big. Yeah, so this dragon is kind of small, and I think too not big. Okay, anyway, so collision. We need a rigid body. Leave. Needs to be kinematic. 3 doesn't matter. We might be needing dynamic one eventually, maybe, but it doesn't really. I don't think we'll need it. Okay, so let's say we have this view, right? Uh, bullet section, um, simple damage, lighter, and because it's a child, it's okay. Um, this will change, so I'm not gonna do anything. The damage effect, VFX, I think we have it. I spawn a lot. Might be troublesome. Sure. So how excited I am about this. And let's know team 0 damage will be added later. Okay, so we have this. Lighter. Guys, so let's duplicate it. Oh, we're gonna have 10. Definitely here. One will be here at the tip. We can enable so you can visually see how far apart they are. We want to have most of them up front, right? But depending on how uh, and the other thing that you could do eventually, do like a multiplier, is if you hit him X amount of times in a row, he'll do like a bigger impact, landing multiple hit. Okay, so we have now we have it to the bones. I don't even need to. I'll see right out as we go. Okay, so now we have these. I will put them where the parents are because I'll need this, the rigid body, bones. It's okay. 7. The other one, this one. We can add them now. They get lost. This Order doesn't really end. Or oh, because I'm whoopsie, I forgot to unlock. Okay, let's grab another. Oh, that's it's okay. We want to. Could make offset, doesn't matter. Let's test it out. Things on settings. Show my fusion. But it doesn't really matter. Big deal. Oh, oh wow, is this? Oh, done. Set. the moment of truth to see. Um, so I gotta connect controllers. Die. This. Then I'll make a build, and then if you guys want to play it, you can. I will be launching. I'm hoping to launch this sometime next week. Maybe next Saturday, we'll play live with other players. Um, and I'll probably have to do a bunch of fixes because it's gonna break. I'm gonna have to tone down. I'll definitely tone down the enemies and then try to figure things out. Okay, so let's make sure nothing broken. Spell. Oh my gosh, it's hitting something. It hit. Oh, it hit me. The same team? Yeah, I killed myself. Okay. Uh, uh, Supposed to be. Oh, I want mine to be team one. Or my. Put in the wrong. It's an enemy. Okay, team one. So that's what it's supposed to be. I should just, as they spawn, set him up to be that. That's why these are good. I know, so that way when I spawn it, well, at least I know it works that way. Trying to think. Yeah, you could. Problem is that now, with this one is that you'd have to activate it as it goes through the portal. That's the other thing, or else you can hit yourself. So friendly fire is a thing. I could also put the other players as enemies. The problem is that yeah, the have to deactivate it and activate it as it goes through the. Hits me and kills me. It's actually pretty OP because it did a lot of damage. So self harm. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of crazy. Kind of. It can kill one guy. It might be a little bit OP. Wait, what? Oh, that's just the Unity. Unity. That rig is kind of annoying, but yeah, it works. It's a little bit OP. Let's see. Let's change it and let's finish it. So let's say Dragon Spell. So let's do it right. So in this Dragon Spell, you say shield, float, child, damage. Percentage. Here, oh, let's just do it in here. Yeah. So in here, we're gonna remove this. Put it per damage. So this will set that. Now, okay, so in here, the percentage, let's say 0.5, half. And that's too much. I will say point a lot. Because you have to think if you hit all of them, boop, 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 but even then, sometimes you don't. We don't want one like tail whip to just like kill everything. So this I think is okay. One is already a lot for a hit and the amount of mana, right? So if we'll do 12 mana. So we will, and then the other thing, bullet. If I can. Oh, what we did it, call it good. And that out so you guys can play. Mm. This is just Quaternion. Basic based. We'll have to see if this happens on the build, but it should be okay. Because this is in Unity, but it's a conversion Quaternion with the gorilla tag. Oh, because it's trying to position. Okay, so we will put we're at. But yeah, we'll do more videos on. I think on Monday we'll talk about multiplayer stuff and probably talk about disconnecting or even network parenting, how it all works out, how to get away with some stuff versus others, because like you saw, we had a lot of things that we had to take care of, and some of the fixes that I found were because I needed to just be able to understand what was going on with the network objects, like who's hitting who and that dynamic. So we're gonna do that. But I won't bore you to death. We're just gonna hit a build. Go. And if you ever you just saw me do all the settings for the build, this is how you set it up as an APK. I know some people are like, hey, how do I make my game? How do I upload it? We just did it. This is the second or third time. And we upload it using the portal. We just upload that APK that I'm building right now. Let's go in here, grab it. We also have debug symbols in here if we need it. This is nice for like crashes and whatnot on meta. Eventually, this is gonna go first to SideQuest, and then as people so that people can try it for free. An APK will always be free, but SideQuest is a lot easier to publish, hopefully, and it's a demo. And if people want to try the one where it saves your stats and stuff, I'll make another, and I'll start making versions for the Quest version where you have your name and you'll save stuff, and we can start figuring things out for the game. Okay, so thanks for joining us today. And if you're watching, if you have questions, let me know. The link to Endgame Devs for help making games is always there on YouTube. And if you want to join and actually test the game out, the link on the Discord is there. And we have closed alpha right now, but you can join it. You just have to join the Discord and click on the link to access the channel. We'll